I cared for the guys I was helping. I wanted them to be happier, and I'd warned them about the dangers of falling too deep into the validation loop. But it wasn't enough, and there was nothing to hold them accountable for that. The way they saw it was that I went through my wild phase and had all the growth of character because of it. But they had it all wrong. There's something to taking action, but I truly believe you don't need to chase the result of getting laid in order to grow your character. To be someone that a quality woman, or if you're a girl, a quality man, will want anything to do with. One of my clients loved the ideas I had enough to invest in them. He became my first business partner and allowed me to grow the idea further. We started to build a real business, and I added a filmmaker friend. Six Tribe was born, and it focused on bridging the gap between the in-person coaching with online branding, trying to best replicate the results I had. This concept did really well, especially since it solved the leaky bucket problem most of these guys had. They would go around meeting all these women, but when it came to retaining them, they'd fumble the ball with their 2005 MySpace-style social media profiles. Not having the right personal brand in the modern world of dating is a huge blunder. I still firmly believe that. Use it wisely. This made the product better, but there was still something missing. What was it? How do I hold these guys accountable? Do I have to make more content? Some sort of course they could follow? An action plan? Whatever it was, I knew what we were doing was half-baked. Time for some real talk. Most guys in Toronto are cowards. They've stopped believing in themselves. They find ways to cope with how unhappy they are, living vicariously through their video game character, replacing accomplishments with that of the next garbage Marvel movie character so that they can follow that story instead of creating their own. They smoke weed to forget about how little they did, and they think people like me can't be real or that we were just handed our lifestyles. Then they have the audacity to wonder why the women of Toronto won't respect them. Why would they? They have no ambition. The furthest their ambition goes is getting a promotion in their trash job that is just going to continue their cycle of misery. It's because the culture of Toronto forces these men to walk on eggshells and pits them against each other with a new stupid movement every other week that gives them a fake sense of purpose. It's why the men who reject that indoctrination are doing so well. Men who don't have no sense of entitlement, no sense of adventure, and never take any risks. They live passively hoping that life throws them a bone, a girlfriend, some money, or a friend. That's not how the world works. In fact, their worlds are so small that they're afraid of offending the people in their community that are just as lost as they are. They're afraid of losing that one girl they have a crush on or that one friend that keeps disrespecting them. They don't believe they can have more because they've been wired to believe that's all they get. Or even worse, they delude themselves into thinking they're doing well and hang on to that one win they had months or years ago, hoping that everyone is the same way. The guys that are killing it aren't like that. We're not coping because we're too busy capitalizing on how trash all the other guys are. We're the main characters of our own movie. We're entitled, we fight for what we want, we go on adventures, and there aren't many of us in the city. That's why it's so hard to date for the average guy. We stand out, your crushes follow us, they're always trying to hang out with us, and you're just on your bed high watching a movie about someone closer to us than you. We recognize each other and help each other dominate even harder. We build businesses together, we collaborate, and add to each other's lives. Because there aren't many like us here. While you're smoking weed to cope with your meaningless job, we're finding new ways to level up. The culture of the city isn't doing you any favors, and it isn't on your side. When Rome was falling, they had circus after circus to distract the population from the crumbling empire. That's where Toronto is right now. You've been fed lies your whole life, but there's enough information out there now that if you're still believing that garbage, it's nothing but your fault. You won't shortcut your way to being the man you want to be. You're going to have to go through hell and make mistake after mistake until you start seeing some wins. Now what I want to create is a community to help. Help the people that align with the principles Six Tribe represents. That being a person of character means abandoning short-term satisfaction and validation. Abstaining from drugs, excessive drinking, meaningless sex, and lack of action. It also means being an advocate and guide to people that are suffering from the consequences of their bad habits and not taking advantage of their weakened states. That you cannot take action without first having a foundation of physical fitness, which will translate to mental health, and that there are no masters. Learning to accept the teachings of your community and embrace the wisdom an aligned collective has. The city forces good men and women to abandon these principles if they want to date. Let's be real, most of you aren't in some wholesome friend circle that watches out for each other and keeps you held accountable for your short-sighted mistakes. If you are, good for you. Now that we're back to reality, the city gives you two realistic options. Online dating and going out, both of which have been corrupted, and you're encouraged to abandon all reason in order to compete. Let's start something new, a community that builds your character, keeps each other accountable, and has long-term goals and vision. A place where a result is more than a one-night stand or some validation, but finding your purpose. That's what Six Tribe is, and I encourage all of you to see what we're about. Now, what's the point of saying all this if I didn't make any improvements in my own life? I did. Following these principles, I'm finally in an amazing relationship with an amazing girl. We both have strong values, care about our community, and have a greater purpose. How many dating coaches can say that? Most of them are perpetually jaded and single men that have abandoned any hope of falling into a relationship and have twisted their worldview to cope with their shortcut-driven lifestyle. I believe in something different. I want to create a community full of quality men and women so that we can change our city. If you're the kind of person that resonated with this video, you're someone that wants to stop taking shortcuts in life, put in the effort, and meet people that are aligned with their purpose and our principles, check us out at sixtribe.com and join our growing community. It would mean a lot to us for you to like and share this video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. There are many more videos to come. Thanks again for watching. See you on the next one.